sorry about that. We've had some technical difficulties, and but we're back now. Hopefully we won't have any more issues where that's concerned. I think the storms might have knocked something loose, other than the stuff that's already loose in our heads.
If you're there and you can hear us, say hey. Come on, lots of thumbs up, likes, hearts, something. Are you there?
Share again.
Hello.
Share again. Tag some folks.
Yeah. Share it. Tag some folks. I don't see any hearts. I don't see any love, any likes.
Well, they're a little behind us. So
Anything. Okay, well, we're waiting. We're waiting on your hearts. Come on. There they come. There they come.
All right, here we go. Well, we were talking, Pastor Rick was talking about our announcement to make an announcement, so we'll pass it back to him for that information.
Okay, since you could only hear every other word, I'm going to just kind of start all over again and just want to tell you thank you for your prayers. I am feeling some better. I still don't have a lot of energy, but that's to be expected. And we're just very excited about what God's doing right now. And they had said on, was it last Wednesday, we talked about that we were going to make an announcement on Sunday, I believe, but I was obviously sick on Sunday. Pastor Alex did a wonderful job preaching. And so we weren't able to make that announcement. And I think Tammy had said we're going to make an announcement tonight. Okay, so here's the announcement. The announcement is that we're going to make an announcement tomorrow morning about when we're going to go back to church. We have prayed about this. We've talked about it, just in depth. We have talked to other church leaders, other pastors in this area in Jackson. We have talked to our district fellowship about it in Nashville. We've studied things. We've talked to local and community, city leaders, things like that, because it's important to us. We want to make the right decision. I told these guys earlier, our goal is not to hurry and do it. Our goal is to do it right, because we want it to be right when we come back together. We're so excited about coming back together. We love you guys. We miss you guys. If you're part of FAM, we miss you. If you're not part of FAM, if you're just tuning in to see Superintendent Criswell, we miss you as well. Yes. But we have decided on a date to come back together as a body of believers. There's obviously going to be some caveats that go with that decision, and we will discuss those as well. But we're going to be making that announcement tomorrow morning. We're going to release a video tomorrow morning about when we're going to come back together. I would like to say this before we move forward. This is something I've been spending a lot of time. I've spent more time at home probably in the last, month and a half than I can remember. And it's been very refreshing. I mean, I discovered that I really do like Tammy, even though that she makes me watch Hallmark movies.
We have not watched much Hallmark in this quarantine.
No, we really haven't.
Really
but I think it's because they just, they're not showing Christmas right now. And, but once they do, and Hallmark movies, the thing I love about them is they're so unpredictable. But anyway, so I've had a lot of time to pray, and I've had a lot of time to read and to seek God. And I was listening to a sermon today by Damon Thompson, and he said something so profound. And I just want to say this, and I want to allow it to minister to you. He was talking about us being in a place of rest right now. That is so uncommon for us as Americans, isn't it?
Yes.
For us to be at a place of rest. We don't want to rest. We want to get out of the house early in the morning, man. We want to get to the McDonald's drive-thru and get some coffee, and we want to get to work, and we want to pursue our dreams and our plans and all these things. But he said something today that really spoke to my heart, and I hope it speaks to yours tonight. He said that a dream can only be considered a dream if it's born out of a place of rest.
I love that. I just love
And
that.
it makes sense, and yet it's so profound. A dream has got to be born out of a place of rest. You see, we have goals, and we call them dreams, but they're really not dreams. They're not a God dream. A God dream is going to be birthed out of you from a place of rest. And I want the pastors out there to receive this. If you're hearing it, tell your pastor about it. Tell him to allow God to give him a dream for his church, a dream for what's coming. He said something else, and I want to share this with you. Dutch Sheets, and most of you know him, is a great prophetic man of God. They were praying together, and Dutch prophesied that God was going to do more in the next 10 years in the church than he has in the previous 2,000. And I want you to receive that, men and women of God. that God is up to something. This did not take God by surprise.
Right.
What has happened did not surprise God, not at all. Anyway, moving on, and once again, I appreciate you guys for being patient with us. I know that I hope that you're as ready to get back and see us as we are to see you, because we really have missed you, our church family, and we want to be with you very soon as possible. But we're really excited tonight. I had talked to Jonathan Criswell before, and he's a wonderful guy, just a great guy, smart guy, sharp guy, beautiful family, just well-spoken, just so represents us as a city and our values, I feel like, as our school superintendent. And, you can't always say that, and I'm not just throwing that out there. But we're so glad to have him with us tonight. We're just thrilled that he accepted our invitation. If he didn't, we wasn't going to tell you that he didn't. But we're glad he did. We really are. And Jonathan, it's nice to have you.
Welcome.
Glad to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to come and share the stage with you. Opportunity to be with several of our folks that are from around Milan, and I know part of your faith family here. So glad to be here and look forward to it.
All right. I think we would like to start, first of all, talking about the school feeding program. And I'm so excited because, and I hope this doesn't get anybody in trouble, but how old's River? 21 months? 22 months?
22.
My 22-month-old granddaughter got a meal from
Right.
the school, and she was so she's not even in school. She's, she
But
was
she
so
saw the
excited.
big school bus.
Oh yeah, that she got food with all the other kids.
Her
And I mean-
cousins got a meal, so they were nice enough to
give her
share.
one.
To share.
Yes.
So,
Oh yeah, she was so excited about that. Tell us a little bit about that. Can you?
Yeah, so when all this really started to break and we recognized that at some point in time we really were going to have to shut down the school system, the governor started making some predictions and we looked forward. I got our team together and just said, we're committed. In our school district, we're going to do it, and we're going to do it right, and we're going to do it where we can go and reach people.
Right.
And so we really just made the commitment, and the law says that any student that's 18 and under, but we just decided if there was some adult that needed a meal, we were just going to pick up the cost of that.
Awesome. Oh my
So
gosh.
we had the ability to do that. We're very blessed to have the opportunity to do that and the resources to do that. And I know we're of the same mindset here that, if you had the ability to do good and you don't do good, then you got an answer for that. So we had the ability to do this and do it well. And so we jumped onto that and committed to really do that, and it's just continually grown. So we're now serving over anywhere between 11 to 13,000 meals a week in a city of our size, which
That
is tremendous.
amazing.
Tremendous.
I know that Christy, and all of you guys know, those of you that maybe don't attend FAM, Christy is our outreach coordinator here at First Assembly, and we're so blessed by all that she does. But she did a little homework, Mr. Criswell, and she had the help of some of your aides to do this. Would you just
And
read
we
that?
need you to grade her on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
it is clearly,
Clearly.
low number now.
Yes.
But to date, it said there have been over 52,500 meals served by the school district.
Over.
Wow.
I mean, that
And I feel like that's
Awesome.
the low end of that because, like I said, I've seen the school bus come by every day, stopping, honking, knocking on doors,
I
making
love
sure.
Right.
I've seen them carry meal after meal. It has been a joy to drive around the city, even to go and get something I need and see school bus here, school bus here, school bus
So
here,
awesome.
teachers out serving, giving, providing for the kids. So yes,
I love that.
that number is monumental, and,
Yeah,
and that is
absolutely.
amazing.
And it really is demonstration of the compassionate hearts that are the employees of our school district.
Yes.
Obviously, something of that undertaking doesn't just fall into place. So, in the middle of everything that we're going through, bus drivers, they could be at home, but they have committed to come and drive the bus. And obviously, not everybody has that skill set. Not everybody has the license to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So for them to make that commitment, for our cafeteria people and managers and workers to make the commitment to do that.
So
And then if you're ever in the schools on a Monday or Wednesday, there are volunteers everywhere.
It's amazing.
It's
Everywhere. And so it really is a great team effort to be able to make all of this happen. And there's so many stories that have come to me from parents that said, listen, this is a help to keep normal. This is a help to motivate, where a teacher gets out of the school bus and says, "Are you doing your work?"
Oh,
And the
great.
parent's able to say, "I told you they were checking. I told you you
Oh,
were supposed to be
yeah,
doing
yeah,
your work." So that happens, and then there's really, as you know, there's always stories that are behind the scene. Somebody will call and say, "Look, I missed the bus today. We really need a meal." And so somebody, you'll never know their name, you'll never know what happened, it'll never make the paper, it'll never make WBBJ or anything like that. But that person will go and either, we've had people buy meals from their own money
Wow.
at our grocery stores and then take it to that family and meet that need. And so that's really what it's all about, is being able to help our community, support our community, and keep that sense of community and that we're all in this together.
That is so
That's
awesome.
why Milan's one of the best cities.
It
It is.
really is.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Let's reverse the calendar 2 months. Walk us through a little bit of what that process was like at the very beginning of all this. I know a lot of people wonder and think about, what goes into the types of decisions that are made when you say, okay, we're going to have to cancel school. We don't know how long it's going to be out. And walk us through a little bit of what that was like and who was on your team and who influenced your decisions and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's really interesting process that we've learned going through this now is the fact that we really recognized about 2-3 weeks before we actually had to shut down by the governor's standard that I sent out to our principals and to our admin team. We really need to start thinking about putting together a 2-week packet of work. It really looks like we're headed in that direction. So we really started preparing that, but 2 weeks turned into 1. So our teachers really only had about 4 days to prepare the first initial packet of work that we sent home to students. And then from that point forward, we were at school that Monday. I got a text and it said, "Have you seen the governor's announcement today?" We had no heads up, nothing from the commissioner. And it was, "No, I have not." "Well, he has just recommended you cancel school for the next 2 weeks." All right, let's see how we're going to pull this off. But, again, that really puts us at a disadvantage because there's not any closure for students now. So really where you have a teacher hugging them on the last day of school and saying, "Look forward, have a great summer, see you back next year." It was like, "Hey, this is a normal day. Don't forget your packet of work. We'll see you in 2 weeks."
Right.
Yeah, we're going to be back.
And then that turned into obviously where we are now, where the school year is completely done.
Right.
So that initial wave of what do you do was really fast paced, and our teachers handled it really well, our administrators handled it really well. But to get everybody home, make sure we're safe, and then back up and say, "All right, now where are we? How do we get work? How do we communicate?" And that's where we just made the commitment to go ahead and do lunches, made the commitment to go ahead and be in contact with every parent, every student, every week.
Yeah.
So we really had a framework of that, but we were expecting at least another 4 or 5 days to finalize that, and teachers just had to pull that together really quick.
So how much school are we missing this year from
Yes.
the closure?
So maybe 8 weeks, but really what people need to realize is it's not 8 weeks of learning anymore.
Right.
So
Gotta go to the movies.
Yeah, and the picnics.
we do,
the
we
park,
do. So we were about 3 weeks from state testing, 4 weeks from state testing. So most teachers, the majority of teachers already had their curriculum taught.
Right.
And so the next few weeks were really going to be a review or, "Hey, we don't really know this standard very well. Let's go back and cover that." So the new learning is really a lot less than it looks like on paper. Because state testing was going to take a week, 2 weeks, depending upon the school. And then obviously after that, we were about to crank up the school as all of us know school. We were about to have May Day. We were
Right.
about to have
Yeah.
senior trips to different schools. And so lots of the fun activities that we enjoy at the end of the school year, we were about to do.
Sure.
So that we have gone through and looked at, especially in math and reading, and even in our sciences in the different courses, all right, what standards did you not get to teach? And all right, so 3rd grade teachers didn't get to these math standards, all right? So you know that you've got to communicate to the 4th grade teachers. We don't have these math standards taught, so now you've got to incorporate them into what you're going to do next year.
Oh, yeah.
And how do we help parents practice that once we get in? How do we change our curriculum maps, our pacing, and all of that? So all of that is in the process of
Yeah,
working itself
yeah.
out right now.
Yeah.
Communication is a vital part of every aspect of life.
It is.
From the third grade teacher to the fourth grade teacher, and from parents to kids.
Always.
Okay, well, I can speak on behalf of all of us in saying thank you for continuing on with graduation.
Yes.
Yes.
Next week, wow.
Next week.
You know, we have a lot of seniors here that'll be graduating, and they have felt, some sadness for a while, not knowing, that they obviously missed their senior prom and some of those things. So I know that when the announcement was made that they were going to have graduation, they were excited.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about what went into that process and how you came to the decision to go head on with it.
Yeah, so obviously prom and graduation are a little bit different. It's hard to social
Sure,
distance
yeah,
at a
sure.
dance. So we automatically, we knew that we weren't going to be able to do that. And so when the governor started releasing some information about, hey, we're going to open this back up, we knew that we were going to have an opportunity to have a graduation in person, which was tremendous
Yeah.
and really uplifting for us and uplifting for our students. And we were really committed to do that if at all possible. So we had to start creating a plan based upon some recommendations that were given to us from the State Department of Education and the commissioner and the governor. So we took that plan, put it together, walked it, and Greg and I are out there pacing off the different places to make sure that we could actually social distance. The park ended up not working out, so we were able to transition and have it it is now known as the Great Lawn of Milan High School.
There you go.
And so we will have it on the Great Lawn of Milan High School out front, but we can honestly get 6 feet apart for all the seats that we're going to put out.
That's great.
That's awesome.
And so we submitted proposals to the State Department, we submitted proposals to the Health Department, both locally, regionally, and at the state level. And so the seniors will come in, we'll actually check all of them for temperature that morning, just another added layer of security. And
Sure.
so if somebody has a fever that morning, we're not going to allow them to walk just because of where we are right now.
Sure.
And then we grouped parents. As they come, they'll have the opportunity to do that. But that plan got approved, and then we were able to finally announce that and really celebrate that. And then right after that, we were able to put out the signs with
Yeah.
all of the seniors
Right,
on
right.
there. And so really,
That was amazing. Did
is.
you see the pictures of, it just lines the drive.
yeah, and so it
Oh,
really
it's
was,
amazing.
it was great to be able to put those out, and we've seen lots of things on social media. That's one of the things that you're gonna be able to take, put up at your house and have
Sure,
yeah.
as, a memory of going through all of this. But we're really excited about having graduation in person. I think it means a lot,
Absolutely.
both for
Absolutely.
parents and students.
I'm thrilled to do
Well,
it.
you were talking about closure, even like for the younger kids and the teachers, and I mean, the seniors, this is a major closure, a major milestone for them. And so I know everybody's so grateful that this is gonna be able to take place.
Absolutely.
It's just
And-
nice to have like a small win, you know?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
feel like you get so much taken
Yeah.
away from you, and then just to be able to have something that
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
is somewhat
positive.
normal. you
Yeah,
know?
and again, those seniors left on Tuesday thinking they were gonna be back in 2
Yeah,
weeks.
no,
Right. Yeah.
And no goodbyes, no hey, anything. And
Right.
so now this allows them to at least see each other. The hugs won't happen and the
Yeah,
high fives won't
yeah.
happen and all of that, but this
They
will give them
might.
the opportunity to say, please don't do that.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So,
once you leave the parking lot of the
That's
school,
right.
you can do.
So there's a few teachers that live on the road we live on over in Farm Lane, and Tyler and I both live there, and it's been unique and interesting to hear them talk about those days of when they were literally teaching a lesson and it was on their whiteboard with their papers laid out, and they went back, I guess a month later, for the first time, and it was like they saw their whiteboard and all of those papers as if time had been frozen.
Oh, wow.
Because they didn't know when they left that day, like you're saying, that this would be it. I mean, and so they leave, and then, a month later, you come back to a project you were working on, and it's like, wow. And I have openly heard some teachers that live on our road say the very same thing you missed. And it's not just the young students who are going to miss those teachers. They legitimately miss those students.
They do.
They have said that the fact that they did not get to love them one last time and say goodbye, it's hard on them too. It's hard on teachers, and in ministry, it's the same way. And so, man, it's just been a unique thing that we've all have had to walk through together.
It's unprecedented.
Right.
I was thinking about that earlier when we were going to talk to you. Has this ever happened before? Where the schools just close and there's no you know, there's just really no plan in terms of what can take place other than the fact, the plan is that there is no plan.
Well,
Yeah.
and you think about, the schools have become such a central part of communities now. If it happened 100 years ago, it's not the same impact as
Oh,
it
no.
is today.
Right.
Because everybody just went back to the farm. And,
Right.
you know, you didn't have to worry about the community because the farm was what you knew as community. And now we're so interwoven with each other through social media and everything else. It really is a different time to be able to look at it. You know, as a minister, I'm sure you've had to deal with, you can't go in the hospital, you can't go visit. I had
Funerals.
my father had a heart cath right when all this began, and I had to drop my father off at the hospital doors. I can't imagine if I'd ever had to do that with my child, or had to do a funeral in the middle of this. It's just an odd situation where you need to be in community, you need to be encouraging one another, and you cannot physically do it. It's really strange.
So we talked some off the air about, so now that we've kind of played a little revisionist history, let's look forward. Let's look to the future.
Let's tell again though, Alex, hold that question, that for those that might have just tuned in,
What are we telling them?
that Mr. Criswell, who he is,
This is
introduce-
Mr. Jonathan Criswell. He is the superintendent of all of our Milan schools, and he's giving us some really, really good, detailed information of the processes and, you know, the things that they had to make tough decisions on and how that has all played out. We've talked about how they have continued to feed the people in our community, and we found out today, just a few minutes ago, that has not just been students. They have fed adults who need a meal, and that's amazing. From our Milan schools, that's what we call hashtag
How many thousand
Milan
meals?
Awesome.
Over
About
52,000.
52,000 meals.
52,000 meals.
It's amazing.
That's what do we have here? 7,000 people.
About 7,800, I
That's a
think,
lot
yeah.
of that's a
That's
lot of meals per
lot of
person.
field. Yes.
And so he just told us about the process in which we walked through a couple of months ago when the decisions to kind of push schools back and then eventually postpone them for good. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the future and what the fall holds. And so, Mr. Criswell, you told us off the air that you do feel like we will have school in person come the fall. So what kind of precautions are you guys talking about behind closed doors that you can speak of, you know, that would give ease to parents and others sending their kids to school?
Sure. So you were announcing that you were going to make an announcement. I have a letter ready to go out to our faculty and staff of the district tomorrow, really, that just says, here's where we are and here's my thoughts. And we're really preparing for 3 scenarios. Normal, which would be great.
Right.
We would embrace that and run with it. But as I told our teachers earlier, we know how to do normal.
Yeah.
And so we don't have to do a lot of preparation for that. The next scenario would be that the governor allows us to come back to school and we're in social distancing. Now, from that scenario, you have 35 different scenarios within a school building.
Right.
So what we have to weigh is what's best for teachers, what's best for students, and what's best for community.
Sure.
And those aren't always in the same avenue.
Right.
And so when we start thinking about bringing back students, and let's say that we have to keep 6-foot distance and all of that. So just like the governor has released scenarios for a barber shop or for a beauty shop, everybody has to have a mask. Everything has to be wiped down this many times per day. You can't go in unless somebody's coming out and all that. Well, I mean, we've been reading articles and brainstorming. I met with my administrative team today just to really say, what do we need to think about? So, like, we've already ordered the little thermometer guns that are touchless thermometers, where we think we're probably going to have to take temperatures when students come in the building.
Right.
And so we're trying to guess where we're going to be in 3 months so that we can order now and it'll
Sure.
be here in July.
Right.
Right.
And so with things like that, we've talked about there's going to have to be hand sanitizers placed in a lot of different places. Are we going to rotate teachers? Or are we going to rotate students?
Sure.
Right.
How do you do related arts? How do you do lunch? How do you do? There's just so many scenarios that we've gone through, and we will have an answer for each one of those as we get closer. But we've really just planned. So normal, social distancing the other, and the least favorite of all of ours would be if we come back and we're required to do education and it's online.
Yeah.
What does that look like? So we've been in more contact with Milan Public Utilities, with Verizon, And just what would it cost us to make sure that every child in Milan Special School District has a device and has access to reliable internet? You know, reliable internet's important.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. We know that.
It's
We
not
know that.
always reliable.
Yes, and so what does that look like? And then if that happens, how can we help parents? Because obviously by that time, we imagine the economy's going to be rolling, parents are going to need to go to work.
Sure.
How do we help daycare? There's just so many things that we're going to have to do. But I do want people to know that we really are working what's best for children first,
Yes.
what's best for their families, and then what's best for the school district and the teachers after that. So we are trying to figure out personal protective equipment, PPE now.
Yeah.
And so all the new acronyms that we've learned. So all of that goes into play. We spent over an hour today, and all we did was generate questions. We didn't even generate answers. It was, we need to think about this, we need to think about this, we need to think about, and so we're rolling through all of those scenarios, and each week we'll follow up and try to narrow down some answers to each one of those questions.
So how much are you relying on your fellow superintendents from the other local school districts and the counties? And, you know, is there really good communication there and everybody seems to be on the same page?
It is. I'm very blessed to work with a great group of people here in Gibson County and then throughout the state. It really is a sort of a brotherhood and a sisterhood of those people. It's funny to listen because it all has the same sound, but it all is it's a little bit different beat. There's a little different harmony going on in all of this because each community's a little bit different.
Right.
So
Right.
what works in Nashville
Yes.
and Memphis will not
Yeah.
work here, and we don't want it to work here.
Right.
Right.
And so, again, we talked off the air, for instance, if we come back and we do social distancing, I imagine you're going to see in Memphis and Nashville, they're going to break schedule. They're going to bring in a group of kids in the morning and a group of kids in the afternoon. That doesn't really help us here.
Right.
That doesn't help our community. That doesn't help our people go back to work. And so we're going to make sure that whatever our plan is, fits the guidelines, but also does what's in the best interest of our community.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you guys have done, and I know, we do not have children in school anymore, clearly, but we have grandchildren that, one that's in school, and we know by just the, atmosphere throughout our city that our school district has been phenomenal. And I think that's greatly in part to your leadership, and so we thank you for that.
Well, thank you. This is a great place to be, as you well know. There's
Yes.
lots of people here that want to do the right thing, that are doing the
True.
right thing, that do a lot of things that people never know that go into making the community
Absolutely.
run. And so my wife and I are excited to be a part of the community and hope to be here a long time.
And we hope you are too. We hope you are too.
As a parent and knowing now how quickly, I mean, I knew y'all were preparing, but the day of and knowing, okay, cancel school today. The communication to the parents was wonderful on such short notice. Like, I really feel it was even rushed, well planned, well thought out, and absolutely put our children first. So I do thank you for that as a parent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so, again, my phone number is publicly available. Please feel free to call it anytime. Call the offices, call the schools. And we try to make sure that we check social media and Facebook and all of those things. So we released that FAQ, that frequently asked question, that parents kept, what do you need to
Yes.
know? What do you
Yes.
want to know? So we can answer those things. Or if we don't know, at least we can tell you we don't know. But again, if there's something you want to know, you let us know, because again, we get caught up in the business side of this, and we don't always think of, I would have never thought about asking, when do we get spring pictures? But that's an important detail that parents want to know, and so we want to make sure that if you have a question about something, we want to provide the answer to you.
Awesome.
Well, we really profoundly appreciate you being with us
Absolutely.
tonight.
Yes.
You didn't have to, and it's sort of funny. I'm sure it crossed your mind a couple of times. Hey, man, am I getting set up here? What's fixing to happen? But I really enjoyed being, speaking to you on the phone the other day. You're just, you're an awesome guy.
Well, thank you so
are, man.
much.
You represent our community well, and I think that you truly understand the culture here,
Yes.
and that's big. That is big. I learned as a pastor coming into Milan, you've got to understand this culture, or you're not going to last very long. That's just the bottom line. And we've seen that in several examples. But on behalf of First Assembly, we want to present this to you just to say thank you for loving our children
Well, thank you. I do appreciate that, and may God bless you and your ministry and your faith family that you have here. We appreciate what you have done to reach out and allow us to connect and allow you to serve the community.
Yes.
Again, I believe community is a big part of what we do and what you do, and being able to minister to our people, especially in a time of need, both physical need and emotional and spiritual need as well.
Oh, absolutely. It takes a village,
It
doesn't
takes
it,
a
for all of us. And Christy, would you just share the gift card that we presented to Mr. Christmas?
Yeah, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but I am.
Yes.
It is from Main Street Grill. It is from Josh and Christina Yeomans. They do a lot of community outreach. They have a location in Medina and a location in Bradford. Anything to do with children, a need, an adult, whatever. They are all in on it. They are all in on nurse appreciation for all this, teacher appreciation, which I know is going on right now this week. So they wanted to also bless you as well.
Well, other than that Horner that they keep up in the restaurant, they're both great people. Don't know them well, but I know who they are and had the opportunity to meet them a couple of times in different situations. So we'll take advantage of that shrimp bowl
Yes,
sometime soon.
yes.
Hey, I can put up with a hornet to eat that snake.
Steak, yes.
Sorry.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the
Thank
opportunity
you.
to be here and to
Thank
give
you,
this.
Mr.
It was our
Rizzo.
pleasure.
Thank you.
We have a video we want you to watch, and then we will be right back. Stay tuned and watch this video with us.
Hey guys, it's Pastor Rick Waycaster. I'm outside of FAM right now with my two sons, Tyler and Alex, and we are going to be delivering some appreciative food to our Milan City Police Department and our Milan City Fire Department, actually two separate departments as far as the fire department is concerned. The one right up here from the church on Main Street, and then also the main one over right beside the police department. But we're really appreciative of what our first responders do for us. I feel like Milan is the safest safest city on the face of the planet. We love it here, and it's all made possible because of our public servants, and we are off. See you in a few. Hi, we are at Jackson Madison County General Hospital, and we wanted to bless the nurses who are working tonight. They're really our frontliners. We're just so indebted to them for what they're doing. My daughter Abigail works here, and so she's also Tyler's wife, and we're just so proud of her. And she's had several opportunities to stay home, but she would not do it because of just that sense of purpose that she needs to be here. And we wanted to, a lot of times when people bring food, they bring it during the day, and there's not a lot left for the nurses at night. So we wanted to bless the night nurses. So it's about 20 till 9. So hopefully they will have plenty enough to last them all night long.
And we are back. Stick with us for just a few more minutes. Right now, Christy is going to tell you a little bit about the stories behind what you just watched and some of the outreach that we have been doing here at FAM during this time apart. So, Christy?
Okay, we have taken some time to honor those on the front lines. First and foremost, we specifically take care of our healthcare workers. We sent cake vouchers out where they can pick up a free dessert. We catered to the ICU nurses and doctors and faculty, the ones that were specifically treating COVID patients during this time. It is important for us to honor them and show our appreciation and our respect for all that they do, because I mean, I'll be honest, I'm at home. I can pray and I can serve and I can do what I can do. And so we thought that feeding them and blessing them that way was our contribution into standing in the gap with them and fighting hopefully alongside them.
Yes.
Also, we did senior soup Sunday. We started cooking soups for our senior adults, those who could not get out and about during this time. We started getting a lot of different needs together for them: toilet paper, dish detergent, laundry detergent, things like that. Some have family around here and they are well taken care of, and some have family that are farther away and maybe couldn't get here as quickly as we could.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Chase, man, what can I say? There's just always been such a connection between us. Man, I could tell just when you first came to Milan and, you know, I actually got to know you and got to talk to you. I knew that I was always going to want you in my life. And it wasn't the fact that we both played the drums or, you know, we both danced or we were both called to youth ministry. It was that, you know, I just always felt so drawn to you spiritually. Man, you and Liv both have just always been there for me from the start, dude. It was just, whether it was just hanging out at y'all's house or playing games or going to a concert or just having deep talks, y'all have just always found a time to just speak over me and speak into me. Man, and I just want to say that I'm so excited to see where you and Liv go in y'all's spiritual walk, and to see how far y'all have come from when y'all first came to Milan, you know? And I just want to say that I love you, and I just want to thank you for all you've done.
What is up, everybody? I am here to show a little bit of love and appreciation to our favorite worship pastor, Tyler Wilson. It has been so cool and so fun to be able to run alongside him for the past, I guess, going on 4 years now. Back in the day, I was a huge Tyler Wilson and Heart Cry super fan. I would practice their songs all the freaking time, hoping and praying I'd be able to play just with someone like Heart Cry or like Tyler Wilson. And to fast forward all these years and to be running alongside him has been a dream come true and something that I will forever be grateful for and thank the Lord for. Man, I've learned so much in music. I've learned so much in leadership and organization and how to operate in excellence. And because, you know, if Tyler's going to do anything, he's going to do it in excellence. And something about Tyler is that he has the heart of a worshiper. He emulates someone like David. And you know, if you've heard Tyler before, he has such a unique sound that when he releases it, it touches heaven. And so I love you, Tyler, and I know we all do, and we all appreciate everything that you do for us. And we appreciate you, man.
Whoa. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey fam! Why did we only wave? Okay, y'all need to wave.
I did wave.
Our hey fam.
I said.
All right, take one.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey fam! I'm Ingram. That was so awkward. Hey fam! I'm Ingram. I'm Juliana.
I'm Orlandis.
I'm Dylan Daryl Chip.
And we are representing Fusion. I don't know what else to say. What else am I saying? This is our appreciation video to Alex and Becca.
We're representing.
To our youth pastor.
So alright, bet.
Alright guys, it's starting.
Alright.
You go for it. Yeah.
We all just wanted to come here today and share our hearts.
We all really appreciate you and love you and everything that you've done for us. You've taught us a lot of valuable life lessons, and so we were really appreciative.
I've always grown up in a Christian household and under your wing. Okay, no.
Okay, do it again.
You got it. You got it.
Okay. I've always grown up in a Christian household and I've always known who Jesus was, but until I met y'all and y'all brought me into Fusion, that's when I really started to form a relationship with Christ.
Hallelujah.
So, I'm kind of...
Blueprint number 3.
Alright, let's go. So, I'm kind of new at Fusion, and from the moment I walked in the door, I never felt any different from anybody else. I always felt at home. And y'all really changed my life at camp and at convention when y'all spoke over me and prophesied it into my life.
Yeah! So I've been in this youth group for a very long time, since I was like in 6th grade. And it's been really awesome to watch y'all grow the youth group and just to see it become what it is today. I don't know, I'm just really blessed to have y'all in my life. I feel like y'all are always someone that I can run to, just to talk about life with. It's so fun to just... I don't know, we just talk about everything, like funny stuff, serious stuff, no matter what it is, y'all are always there to speak truth and life for me, and it's really awesome to experience that with y'all.
First off, I want to say I love you guys. Alex, you've always been a father figure to me. Anytime I needed help or needed to be open with you about a subject or topic, you've always been there for me. Becca, you've been like a best friend for me. You've always been open. I can always be myself around both of y'all, and I love you, boss.
Ooh, I like him.
You said boss? I love you, boss!
I did say boss. Alright, I'm just about to say love you both, and then...
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Alright, just let me say love you both, because we burning.
Okay, here we go.
Love you both.
Action.
So, in conclusion, we,
Just
as
restart.
Fusion Startup, alright, so we just want to say that we love you guys, we love your ministry,
Yes.
we love everything that you've done for us, and we, as Fusion, appreciate y'all so much, and we wish you the best in everything that God has planned for your life.
Whole world. Thank you for your time.
Thank you! I feel like I have boogers in my nose.
Probably do. That's where they belong.
Oh, yeah, you have one right there.
I feel it.
Oh!
I got it.
It was hanging.
Oh, we're recording you.
I know, guys.
Hey, that's
I have
a part
boogers.
of the blooper. We should zoom in
It's
on
a
our
bodily
boogers.
function.
You all helped us speak in tongues.
Oh my god.
The person I want to talk about today is Pastor Tammy. I honestly have no clue where to begin. The first moment I met her, we were late for service elsewhere and kind of wandered into fam. And we never left. It just became home. I watched her week after week. The way she talked to people, the way she loved on them, the way she interacted with them. And at that point in time, I was just me. No outreach coordinator, no kids director, no position, no title, just me. And I had absolutely no idea what the Lord wanted me to do with my life. But I knew in watching her, I wanted to love people like that. Fast forward a little bit, and actually probably about a year or two later, the Lord began dealing with me on outreach ministry. And so I went to Pastor Tammy, and she has told the story multiple times. I did not look her in the eyes when I asked her and shared my heart on a vision from the Lord. I didn't. I was way too shy. I'm still very shy. So, and she knows this. But that day changed my life forever. She said yes and has said yes a million times since. She will go down in history as my first yes to ministry. I will never forget that moment. Several years later, serving in outreach, loving every moment of it, feeling like I was doing everything that God had called me to do at that point in time, and suddenly I lost my father-in-law to suicide. It was the most difficult season of our life. I remember that day standing there feeling absolutely all alone. And I was staring at the ground and I felt arms around me. I felt tears on my tears, and I felt a hug that could only be hers. She had rushed to me to love me in my darkest hour. I went through a lot. After that, I really think that she probably walked into the gates of hell and commanded Satan to back off my family. I know every time she's prayed and every time she showed up and every time she's listened to me cry my eyes out and every time she's loved me so sincerely. She has influenced my life beyond measure. There is no way that I would ever be able to repay her love or her kindness to me. She held my hand until I could walk again on my own. I was ready to walk away from everything because grief and guilt, when you lose someone, it takes a toll on you. And she never once gave up on me. She never once led me to believe that maybe I was less than what I was currently doing. She actually made me believe that I could do a whole lot more stuff than I can. But I just want to tell you, Pastor Tammy, that I'm grateful for you, and that I love you, and that I know that I'm surrounded and blessed by family and friends who are absolutely amazing. But there's this special place in my heart that no one can touch, that's reserved for just you.
Hey guys, so I get the honor of talking to you about Pastor Rick today and sharing a little bit of my personal testimony with him throughout the years. Pastor's been a part of my life since the late 90s. I was 16 years old, I believe, when Pastor came to Milan for the first time, and you know, I saw early on what a great dad he was to his kids, and that's something that stuck with me for our whole relationship. He has always loved his babies just unconditionally, and has always poured into their lives, and I've watched that and I've learned from him, and it's made a major impact on me with my 4 children. You know, that's what makes him a great pastor. He pastors our church. He loves us as a church the same way he does his kids, and it's easy to see. You know, everybody in fam knows how much Pastor loves them, and that's a testament to him as a dad. You know, he was raising his babies a long time before he was our pastor, and that experience and that love and everything that he's ever done for his children has trickled right down to him being a great pastor. We just appreciate you, Pastor, and I personally appreciate you. Thank you for everything that you've ever done for me, and thank you for teaching me how to be a great dad. We love you.
I have the honor and the privilege to share about my sister, Christy Rushing. She is such a joy to have in my life. She's really shown me the Father's heart and his compassion, because she has compassion. She has such compassion for our community, to serve others relentlessly, just as our Father does. I really look to her as a sister, a real sister. I'm honored and I feel humble, really, that God put her in my life. And I don't think she realizes how much she's touched me and how much she has meant to me and my family. Her giving, her love, her friendship. Thank you, Christy. Thank you for giving. Thank you for giving the love of Jesus, because that's what it is. Thank you for serving as you do. Thank you for being my friend. God knew I needed you in my life, and I'm so blessed. I knew I must be doing something good to have you as my friend. And I just thank you so much for being my friend and for serving our community as you do. And the kids, your kids' ministry, I can see how that is such a joy for you, and that they just love you, and you just long to love on them. Thank you. Thank you for loving on our kids and our community. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for serving. We honor you, Christy Rushing. We honor you. We appreciate you and all you do. Our community appreciates you and all you do. And most of all, our Daddy God appreciates you and adores you and all you do. Thank you.
It's probably just like a.
What in the world?
Completely unexpected.
Okay, I'll explain. I may have told a small story. I did want to talk about what the Lord laid on my heart, but it had nothing to do with outreach. It was y'all. I did get permission to tell a little lie. And
Okay.
Jesus will forgive me. Wesley and Abby and me kind of conspired to. I wanted to honor y'all. I know it is. I do not want to take away from our school teachers and Teacher Appreciation Week and everything else. And I know October is like Pastor Appreciation. But y'all have taught me all that I know. And each and every one of you that are in this room, you touch my heart to a whole new level. I don't care what it is and what crazy idea I come up with. Y'all ready to run with me. I think of things, she puts it together. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need this. He's like, I've got it. Every event, they all show up. They serve by leading. I know how to serve because I've watched them do it, and that is why. So I wanted to honor them all today and just let them know, as fam, that we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all, the sacrifice that you've made during COVID to do the live feed, to do the worship. I look forward to that. I mean, I miss our church. I miss the church body when we're not together. And so it has been something that has been wonderful. I look forward to table talks on Wednesday and Sunday. But I just wanted to say that I thank you all very much. Every single one of you. I appreciate you.
Thank you
so much. This is too much.
And I got duped, by the way. I planned this. I had no idea Loretta was going to be on there. So I love you, Loretta.
I thought the devil himself had come on the screen. I was like, what is going on?
Wow.
It's hard to surprise me.
I was told to ramble for about 30
Ace Ventura
seconds.
in the
I was like,
hallway.
that's going to have to
Like Ace
expire
Ventura in the
soon.
hallway.
Oh my gosh.
So we got some shirts.
Yes,
some shirts.
yes.
Okay.
Mine says the Sermonator.
Yes.
Sermonator.
Yes. Okay, mine's going last. What you got, Chase?
Mine says, I never dreamed I'd grow up to be a super cool pastor, but here I am killing it.
Yeah. What you got, Becca?
Says, we love you, boss.
Thanks to
Dylan
Fusion
Balls.
I got
Chase got my
Yeah,
shirt.
they call me
I don't always sing. Sorry. I don't always sing. Oh wait, yes I do. It's a cool little story. Like everybody always thinks that like, oh, I just like serenade my family at home and stuff like that. I just always play the guitar. I go and reach for the guitar in the closet, and Abby's like, seriously, I can't even deal.
Put it away.
I love you, babe. I love you, babe.
Mine says, and this goes for my kids and grandkids, careful or you'll end up in my sermon.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
And
for
are
anybody.
you ready for this, fam? Are you ready? You're not ready.
Michelle York.
Girl, hang on. Are you ready? Let me see some hearts for all my people that's going to get a hug when we come back together. I am the hug dealer. I love it. I love it.
I totally forgot. Okay, Crafty Chick Vinyl Designs made all the shirts, so I do want to give them a shout out. The surprise is not over. Your catered dinner is next door that was set up while we were in here doing live.
What?
And so after service, y'all go have a meal.
I love food.
I love
Excited about that.
And that's all I have, so there's nothing else I promise.
I don't even know how you end this.
I do.
You do. Okay.
Yeah, give me a minute. Our first Sunday at FAM was November the 4th, 2007, when you and I got up on the platform with our family. And we said there's no place else we'd rather be.
That's what we said.
May the 6th, 2020, there's no place else we'd rather be. Fam, we love you.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yep. For sure.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody that pulled this off.
Yeah.
Well, we love you, and we got a huge announcement coming tomorrow.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Watch him for the video tomorrow. Pastor is when he gets a little more strength and he stops crying, he's gonna do a video. Because we're coming back to church and get a hug.
On that note, the Sermonator and the Hug Dealer are out. We love you.
Love you guys. Good night.